Hey, what's going on YouTube? You already know who it is. It is DubloH, and I am back with another video for y'all. And today I'm ugly as fuck, but we still have to get some videos out. The embargo for Avowed has lifted, so a lot of people are dropping it. And in today's video, we are going to be watching my guy Malik foreplay and his game review. So with all that out the way,
Avowed is a game of the year contender if we hopped in a time machine and went back to 2007. Thanks to Xbox for providing me with access to the game, and I gotta be real with y'all, I don't think this one was for me. It's a competent RPG, it's got depth, the visuals are okay, there's a lot of lore that I wasn't particularly compelled by, but I'm sure Pillars of Eternity players will thoroughly enjoy. But it's got a little bit too much of that Obsidian jank to it for me.
okay, just kicking it off right now. This is something I was kind of spotting when I first was looking at it. When I was looking at the gameplay, I was like, it looks good personally, but the combat is like too inspired by older Skyrim, where it doesn't feel good nowadays. We didn't experience too many banging ass first person action games with swords, shields, magic spells. The old Obsidian formula just don't feel good right now. It's like we have to change that shit up, and that's kind of what I've been noticing. Only thing I was probably like, can possibly save it is the lore and the actual story. I mean, let's keep it going.
You know what I mean? It's the same jank we see in Bethesda games, where they have these out-of-date systems baked into a bunch of new ideas, systems that don't respect the player's time. I'm sure some of you felt this playing Starfield. I don't think there's anything wrong with this. If you're into that vintage feel, great, but I personally needed something to carry me through the jank, be it some incredible gameplay, an undeniably gripping story, a satisfying RPG system, something. Nothing about this game stood out to me. Nearly everything Avowed does is just run-of-the-mill. I will say that they went all out making the narrative choice.
That nigga character ugly. Why is his nose so big?
Choices and dialogue very dynamic. How you respond to NPCs is crucial towards what quest lines you open and what obstacles.
I like that. Okay, so depending on what the fuck you choose, you can see what happened. That's clean. I like that. I like that. That's decent.
You encounter while playing this game. And dialogue is a core mechanic.
Oh no, that was dialogue history.
Very long with a lot of NPCs, and each conversation will have you choosing 7 or 8 different dialogue options minimum, with some dialogue checks mixed in. So if you're into conversation heavy narrative games, you're gonna love this. The movement and combat was definitely secondary in this game, which bummed me out. It wasn't bad, but just serviceable. I definitely say don't play this game in third person, because when I did, all the attacks and moves felt very clunky. And when I switched it back to first person, it felt a bit smoother. There's a lot of different play.
Ah, that's bad. See, I was gonna try and play this shit in third person. I was hoping that the animations were decent. This is what I'm talking about. If y'all gonna make one of these games, if y'all gonna make another game like this, improve the fucking animations and make them look better and make them feel like they got more weight to them in first person as well. Cause I feel like the steady camera with only the arms moving doesn't feel good. It doesn't feel like quote unquote realistic. That's the best way I can put it right now. And with that being said, it's like it doesn't make the combat feel as engaging as it should.
Playstyles accommodated here. You can use ranged weapons, melee weapons, spells, and mix in party members to do moves as well. And again, the actual combat itself is not bad, but it still feels dated. It almost feels like I'm tied to sandbags to play games like Kingdom Come and Stalker, and then come to this. Not to mention, they could have definitely substituted a handful of fights with lizard dudes or bears with something else. The enemy variety was a little lacking. Give me a parry system. Make guarding feel usable. Guarding in this game feels awful. You're gonna find yourself just evading most of the time. You guys know,
that's some bullshit.
I'm big on combat, and while it doesn't have to always drive the game, at least make it fluid. In Avowed, it's just okay. It might have been feasible in the game, say, 10 years ago, but now no one's gonna look back at this game later this year and say, man, I wish more games had combat like Avowed. Probably the opposite. And then there's tons of minor stuff like the over-the-top labeling of things that cheapen the experience and break the immersion. Like here, why are we labeling crates that I can smash and loot? Just make them all smashable or not. Or here, I'm a vet playing games, so I can clearly understand that this is a red barrel that will explode if I strike it, an unwritten gaming rule. But it's labeled as if they want you to use a sword on it. So for a new player, I ain't gonna hold y'all. This is a strange feeling because I'm a fan of Obsidian games.
It's a tiny little nitpick. I understand it, but you know, yeah, it is like, I mean, you do gotta treat some of your you gotta treat some of your audience like they're not like as fast as everybody else. So I kind of understand them doing that. Other than that, I mean, that's a little tiny nitpick. I mean, it can get a little annoying, but I mean, I guess.
But I don't remember them making these decisions before. I don't know if I've just grown away from the jank or if it's just very intrusive in Avowed, but it took me out. I don't know if I'll ever finish this game. There's this stigma out there that because Microsoft has done all this consolidation and budget cutting internally, that most of the Xbox made games that come to Game Pass feel like old, medium rare cooked, cheaply made projects. And while recently titles like Indiana Jones and the Great Circle have evaded this stereotype, I think Avowed is one that folks are either going to enjoy immensely or slap that old label on it. You guys know I don't usually like giving any more energy to games that I don't enjoy, but Avowed feels like an interesting case because it's coming from Obsidian, one of my favorite dev teams, and there's definitely some personal preference that came in while playing this that made me dislike it. This will probably be my least subjective review, but I had to stay true to how I felt playing it. If you love fantasy RPGs and you have Game Pass, this is for sure worth giving a chance. Maybe you'll play through the jank and enjoy it, but I would not recommend spending full price on this game unless you're a diehard Pillars of Eternity player or you're someone who is in desperate need of something that feels even a little like an Elder Scrolls game. Just a little. And those are my thoughts on Avowed. And now I think I'm gonna wait for The Outer Worlds 2 for my Obsidian fix.
Okay, so it's kind of looking bad because almost all of the previews and reviews that I've been seeing have all said that the combat is like the weakest point of it. I need to see a little more exploration. Like I'm wondering, can you get a lot of dope shit from the exploration? That's really what I want. That's really what I care about. Okay, the combat is ass. It's a lot of dialogue in Elder Scrolls game and shit like that, which I'm like, I mean, I guess I understand it. They want you to just be talking a lot. It's a little mind-numbingly stupid. I mean, I could deal with that as long as the shit I can get while I'm out exploring the world and getting lost in the world is worth it. Like if I can find some dope ass armor, dope ass weapons that look good, and I can kind of push everything else to the side. That's kind of what I did with Dragon Age. The combat was solid enough. The story was ass. Characters were fucking annoying. The exploration in that game was decent, and the combat was salvageable enough for me to still enjoy the game. And honestly, the side quests were fucking decent in Dragon Age. So I'm like, if one thing lacks in this game, I'm praying the other two sides of the triangle. So the combat sucks. As long as the exploration and the story are decent, we can have a good balance to a game. We could have a solid at least 7 to 8 out of 10 of a game right here. If y'all have made it this far, I do want to thank y'all for fucking with me. Make sure that you go ahead and leave a like, hit that subscribe because I do have more content on the way. Hit that bell so you never miss another video. Here is your second reminder to leave a like. My name is DubloH and I am out.
Hey. Hold on, baby, hit the pug on, do you dance on it? Bust it down, baby, let me see, spread them legs, let me see what you got. Do your job, I got a check for you. Throw a couple bands, put in work, I got some more for you. Slow it down for me, drop it down, go get wild for me, smile for me, bend it over, go and touch your toes for me. Pause for me, get the can, baby, do a show for me. All money, if you clean and good, I got a note for you.